Today we're going to do something a little different. Do you see all of those layouts? They are all unclaimed. And when I say unclaimed, there's no photos in there. So in today's video, we're going to do something a little different. I went through my bin and I picked out a few of those naked layouts, and we're going to add pre-printed photos and see how we can make it work. Hello there, welcome to my channel. I'm Julie. In today's video, we're going to add pre-printed photos to already completed layouts. If you've been here before, you know that I've been working through my daughter's baby album, and I was just about to start a new layout when I looked at that bin I just showed you, and I'm like, there must be something in there that would suit these photos. So these were taken when she was just a baby. This is the Tulip Festival. And I pulled out a whole bunch, and then she walked into my scrapbooking room and she picked her favorite 3. So let's see how that's going to turn out. So we've got the red tulips here. Of course, we're going to have to crop down these photos, but I kind of like this look. I might have to crop down or use flip-flaps if I want to add all of the photos, but you can see that I might run into an issue where I'm going to crop way too much of the photo and kind of lose the gist of the story. So although these colors are very pretty and they really do match those red tulips, I'm not sure the photo mats lend themselves really well to what I have that's already printed. She did like this one. We kept on going through all of the layouts. And this one here, to be quite honest with you, I probably wouldn't have thought to bring in photos with tulips. But do you see what happens when I do? The photos are so different, and these elements are so bold and bright that what you see is actually the photo. There's a little bit of yellow in the tulips in some of these photos. There's this really nice pink that resembles this one here, and red. I'm not sure. I kind of like this one as well, but there's always going to be a bit of an issue with cropping all of the photos. So this is option number 2. And then this is option number 3. Now this one here is a very old layout, but again, you can see how the photos look really pretty. I could definitely use a flip-flap here to add these photos. And I do feel that this one here, this can be cropped down. This one's going to be a bit of a stretch, but I do feel that I can put down all of my photos. If you caught my other video, I did create myself a vellum, a little template to help me crop down my photos. So let me show you what I mean. Now this one here is a 3x4. This is a 3x4. And if I put this in, I can definitely crop this down. I would probably, again, apply the rules of 3 and maybe scoot her into the bottom so that it makes sense with my layout. These ones here, I don't need a 4x4 this time around. These ones here are going to be a little bit of a struggle. Now, if I use the close-up right here, I'm going to cut down quite a bit, but it's also going to bring interest to my layout. So I might just do that, and I will definitely center that one. And here, I can just squeeze them in. Now, I could definitely, again, use a flip-flap, and I need a spot to journal. So I have to decide where I'm going to use my journaling spot. You know what? She picked this layout, and she felt that the colors went really, really well. Her second pick was this one here, which is really, really bright. Let's bring that one back in. I'm going to go ahead and use this page right here, only because I can add a lot of my photos. The title is fine. I will need to document her months because I am kind of tracking her milestones per month. So I will add that on this page. But for the most part, I like that I can use pretty much all of the photos. The titles here do match or they're not competing with the photos, I guess I should say. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to trim down my photos, and we are going to proceed with this selection. I've pulled out my Versamat here so that you can see how I'm going to crop this photo. I really do feel that if I put her here in the corner, that's going to work out really nicely. So I will need to crop or cut 1 inch off here and then 1/2 inch at the bottom. So let's do that together. I do want to show you how this is done because it is a little intimidating, but it definitely can be done. So I'm lining up my photo, making sure that it's straight with my grid. I'm pushing down on this blade because I don't want the photo to slide. And we're going to cut it off. The next cut is going to be, don't want to cut off too much of the flowers, but I don't mind if I cut off the buildings. So if I look on my mat, my photo is now 3 inches. I want 4. I'm going to need to cut off 1 inch, not quite 1 inch, because remember these photos were pre-printed and they were shy by 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to cut off the top. We still see the flowers, so that's a good thing. I'm going to remove that, and look at that. Isn't that cute? I will trim them further so that I see a white border. So that's going to work out for me. Let's see this page right here. Now, these are really cute photos. This one here, I'm pretty sure I can crop that down. I think I'm okay with cutting off her little foot and making that a focal point, like straight on. And then I'm going to do a 4. And I do realize that I'm cutting off some of her little feet, but you know what? This is not a digital photo, and you can't crop in the reverse. So you can't crop out of a photo, definitely not. So I have to take off 1/4 of an inch here. I think for a pre-printed photo, I think that that's not too bad. And when I bring back this one here, you kind of have a feeling of what's going to happen. Now, I know that I need a spot to journal, and I think I'm going to keep this for my journaling spot, which will allow me to keep these all in full size and put them in a flip flap. I think that makes me happy. I have to decide if I want to keep it all with the pink and the reds. And then when you open it up, you've got this one here and you have this one. Although this photo here, she's kind of looking in this direction and it's a pop of yellow. I think we're going to do that. All right, so let's adhere down our photos and let's look at what I'm missing to tell the story of these photos right here. All right, let's take a look at this layout right now. Now that I've cut my photos and I've used my trusty little template, I can't tell you how easy and helpful this has been. So I did trim down this one right here using the rules of 3. So I've got this one. I think it looks really cute. These ones here, I trimmed them down just a tiny little bit to see that little white margin. And when I create layouts without photos, even back in the day, I knew not to tack everything down. So I'm quite happy for that because now I can slip my photo right in the back. For this one right here, it's going to go right on the mat. And then I'm going to add a flip flap. That way I don't have to make a decision to not put the photo in. And I like to use a little mat because, again, these photos were not true 4x6. So I'm going to glue this one down and then I'll glue the other one backwards. And I'll show you how that works just in case you're not familiar with these. And then when I slide that into the pocket, they're not going to move. So I'm going to start with, I think I want the top one to be this one. And again, because it's on a flip flap, I can change that. I can change my mind. So I'm just going to add this so that you see that little white border all the way around. So this is your flip flap. You fold that over. This one's going to go this way. And then when you flip it over, this one's going to go this way. So now we have our photos. I'm going to add these in here, and that's going to go on top of my page protector. I feel pretty accomplished. I have my photos. They've all been cropped down, and I did use my trusty little aid with my vellum template that I created because I don't have a lot of options. These are already pre-printed, and I want them to work with this layout. Now I'm going to go do my journaling. I'm going to add it here. And the next thing to do is to figure out how to make this into her month. This was in May. So I'll have to figure out the journaling and maybe add some supporting titles for this page right here. All right, we're in the home stretch. And the next decision I have to make is, do I want my journaling on the top or on the bottom? I think that the photo on the bottom kind of grounds everything, and then you've got this right here at the top. Now, usually I do her baby album with her milestones by the months. But you know what? If I just add it on the title and I put it right here, I've got 2 spots for journaling because I wanted to tell the story about our day with the tulips. I kind of had to separate it out. I tried to squeeze it all into this little box right here. Wasn't working out. So I think that this is going to work. I did use these Avery labels right here. They're clear. Erin put me onto these and they're great. So I think it's going to look good. I did try and print this in black and I felt that it was too dark. So I wonder if we're actually going to see it now that it's gray. So let's peel this back and we're just going to pop this right on. It's, oh boy, it is very, very light. Ooh. I think I'm going to have to redo this one and make it a little bit darker. So as long as you don't press down right away, it comes off. But this on the gray really doesn't stand out. And I feel like having 2 white boxes is too much. I will glue this one down here with you, and then I'll just reprint this. Maybe I'll try it in the julep. I believe that's julep or juniper. Maybe I'll try it in the green tone. That might look really nice. Let me bring this closer. And I'm going to line this up at the top, and then I'm just going to push that down. So I think that this in the gray works. I can add my photo, and I am going to, oh, I didn't think of not gluing this down, so I'm going to have to lift that little heart just a little bit, so that I can sneak my photo underneath. There you go. I think that that looks really great. Let me go reprint this. I think I'm going to try in the green and we'll finish off this layout. Let's finish this layout. I did reprint this and I did a shade of green. So I'm just going to pull off on this sticky back. And since it's just a tiny little bit, I'll be able to kind of position this and make sure that it's nice and straight. So I've pulled out my T-ruler here just to make sure my text is nice and straight. And the fact that I just have a tiny little bit of that adhesive exposed, I can kind of move it around. And I am going to peel back on that white backing. and you will see how good that looks. So I just want to make sure that nothing is moving, and I'm just going to drop it on. Look at that. And when you burnish that in, I think that looks really cute. We have the milestones that I wanted to document, and I have the story of the day. Here we have the completed layout. I'm super happy on how this turned out. These photos have been in a photo box for a very long time. I'm kind of happy that my daughter is helping me pick the pre-done layouts to document her story. Now, when we looked at all of those, and you saw in my box down below, I have tons, we pulled out layouts that had colors that would match the photos and also the orientation. Now, this was a little bit harder because my photos are not digital, so I don't have the opportunity to resize. But you know what? I think we did a good job. I think we have another completed layout. I don't have to sacrifice some of these photos. I'm going to add them in a flip flap. I've got the story of the day, and I have her milestones right here. Well, that's it for me today. I hope you've picked up a few helpful tips, and don't forget to go look at some of those naked layouts. They make for quick and easy scrapbooking. I love the way this turned out. I hope you've learned a few tips and tricks. If you did, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.